tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello and welcome to AfterBuzz TV here. We are on the road to WrestleMania, and as some would say, the Fastlane to WrestleMania, because we are here covering Fastlane 2016. I'm Steve Kaufmann. You can find me on Twitter at Steve Kaufmann. That's Kaufmann. Thank you for joining us on the chat, joining us live on iTunes. Joining us live on YouTube. Also downloading us on iTunes. Give us those 5-star reviews. I'm gonna stop talking for a little bit.
All right, I'll take over. Hi. Is that okay?
Yes, please.
Hey, everybody. I'm Christy Olson, and you guys can all reach out to me at Christy Reports.
See, I heard joining us alive. So, live. So, thank you for being alive.
We're following The Walking Dead.
Thank you. But I am George Hermoza, the champ. It's just too easy at this point.
I mean...
but you can follow me at G Hermoza, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, PlayStation Network. By the way, thank you for wearing deodorant today.
Well, you're welcome. You're very welcome. See, I figured we saw Lunatic Fringe work tonight, and I would be the lunatic in Fringe. Yay! I am Hobo on Twitter, the professional wrestler that is the cornerstone of this panel.
By the way, I'm still sore from when he trained us.
Me too.
Still
It
sore.
lasts.
I still have like ring ropes.
Yes,
right there.
get you right in there.
Can't wait to
I oddly didn't have that welt, but everything else hurt for a really long time.
It never goes away.
Does not.
Enjoy it for life.
I just realized this is a reunion of that.
It is on YouTube. All the people that want to watch us get trained by the Hobo, it is on YouTube.
AfterBuzz TV is the Tough Enough panel tough enough.
Yeah.
I'll go into the comments, put a link to it.
Still can't believe Steve was tough enough and not me.
Wow.
He's still so mad about that, you guys. He brings it up like several times a week.
Winners perform. That's all I'm saying. I didn't pick favorites. I just picked the one who did the best.
Fair enough.
That's great. So, jumping in, what did we think about this as a show? Overall, as a pay-per-view?
Well, it got off to a great start.
Well, they called it Fastlane, but I don't know. I felt like I was stuck in traffic. This felt like the 405 trying to get on the 101. And if you don't live in L.A., you don't get that joke.
You have a car?
No. That's what they said to Starbucks.
I mean, I thought it was okay. I mean, it's always that middle transition between the Rumble and Mania. You can't really blow them away because then you kind of, what do you have left for WrestleMania? So, I mean, it's good for what it was and what I was expecting. Does that make any sense?
I think the storytelling in the matches took a little bit of a hit because of the timing thing. They obviously needed a lot of time at the end for things that we will talk about.
Of course. I'm somewhere in the middle where I didn't expect very much, and even they didn't deliver still. Oh. Where I was still just like, oh, is that how you end the whole show?
What did you want to see?
Honestly, I wanted to see Dean Ambrose win. I wanted to see them move forward with an audible they allegedly called at the Royal Rumble of, oh, people are booing Roman Reigns. We should call an audible. But apparently they only do that for, like, little things, like who's last in the ring with Triple H, not big things like who faces Triple H at the biggest show to draw the most money.
Now, were you saying you want Dean Ambrose to win because, for that, or because you would have been championed if you would have picked Dean Ambrose?
No, I wanted Dean Ambrose to win. That was a weird sound that someone's phone made. I don't know whose.
Professional, whoever it was.
That's totally. I wanted Dean Ambrose to win because that's the more compelling story to tell.
I mean, we'll get into it. I honestly, I was going back and forth between Roman and Dean, but yeah, we can talk about it.
Also, I would have liked a Wyatt. I would have liked the Wyatts to actually screw over Lesnar to set that up, because now I'm not sure where we're going with that, but we can start at the top with Kalisto and Alberto Del Rio in the pre-show. 2 out of 3 falls. Do we all catch this?
I got the majority of it.
Yeah.
Say that.
Because these pre-show matches, especially ones with titles on the line and have a lot of weight, some of us plan our days for 8 o'clock Eastern. That's when the show starts. So if you start up in the show and like a match already happened, you're like, oh great, so now I have to find time at the end to watch this match.
Listen up, the show starts when they say it starts and not a moment sooner.
It's not the Steve Network.
A few weeks ago on the SmackDown panel, I was kind of going on and how much I not despise, but I'm not a fan of last man standing matches, not a fan of table matches, and I think somebody on the chat was like, well, what kind of gimmick matches do you like? I love 2 out of 3 falls matches.
Me too.
I truly love them. Those and Iron Man matches, when they're done well, I truly love those matches. And this was one of them that I really, really liked.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the back and forth. I enjoyed Alberto Del Rio being so upset, feeling Kalisto's beneath him, that he pretty much gets himself disqualified right off the bat.
It's about what you need to do in the situation. Sometimes you need to take that first pinfall in order to gain a larger advantage in the long run. I've been in a few 2 out of 3 falls matches, and I can tell you the number of bad things that have happened to me to win a first fall. It's a common strategy because it works. You get the win in the end most cases.
JBL said it best. Sometimes you have to lose the battle to win the war.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So I love that line that he said.
I did too, and I really enjoyed this match. The one thing about a 2 out of 3 falls match in our modern world is there will be 3 falls.
Not necessarily. There was a 2 out of 3 falls match with Cesaro and Ziggler not too long ago, and it only went 2 falls.
Ooh, sorry we missed that one.
Set that up for George.
I was surprised I went 2 falls too. So you would.
I remembered that. I remember that as I said it. I was like, George is gonna call me out on that match.
Well, let's not overlook the fact that Morrow was calling out this match.
Yes, and then didn't call any of the subsequent matches.
No.
But Morrow,
because that's what everyone wanted. So why would they do that?
Well, you do that on the internet to sell people on your network and to watch your show, and then you don't give them.
It's trying to appeal to the majority. The majority of the people don't know who this is.
Yes.
So they're going to do a slow introduction. They're going to start maybe giving him a couple matches, a few select matches, and over time they're going to let him do more on the shows overall. So this was his really first time out at the pay-per-view. He gets the pre-show. That's fine. That's a good spot for him. Now he's introduced to the majority of the people who watch the pre-show. And then it'll grow from there. You got to start somewhere. You can't just dive into the pool, do a cannonball. You got to get yourself in over time, you know? You get shrinkage otherwise.
What pool are you in? That's all cold.
I'm in pools.
Oh.
I'm in pools. What are you in? I'm in pools.
It's like a personal question, George. I don't.
What's with this guy?
I'm just asking. You amuse me.
Thank you.
You're not.
Maybe.
You're not amused like I'm inspired, but you amuse me.
I don't know whether which I'd be more grateful of being. Amuse or amusing.
I'm gonna let this keep going. Just go.
I like Morrow and all. I mean, I thought he brought a lot to. I've always been a big fan of him, but even little things like when Del Rio was trying to take the mask from Kalisto, saying like that's kind of surprising for a guy who used to wear a mask and even wore a mask to an MMA fight, the high-profile MMA fight that he was in with Mirko Krokop.
Keywords being used to. Yeah. He lost the mask, and I think in doing so has lost some respect for the individuals who wear it themselves.
Or he has mask envy, and he was trying to pull that off so that he could put it on himself. Mask envy.
I don't think he's thinking too far into the mask thing. I think it's a huge matter of disrespect to show your face. Like, I guess for the wrestler to show their face would be a matter of respect, but to unmask someone, that would be a huge dishonor. So I think that's what he was going for. The story he was trying to tell. Kalisto goes over. Pretty clean, pretty straightforward.
Retains. This has been an interesting feud thus far.
I've read it in the internet sphere where people say these things, that one of the reasons Kalisto is champion right now is this is when Lucha Underground launched. I don't think they're quite that. I don't think they're quite on the pulse of what's happening outside of their bubble,
or care that much.
But I think there's something to be said there, that they want to put him at the forefront with the U.S. title. That said, they haven't done very much with him outside of these Alberto Del Rio matches, and I think Sin Cara's like weighing him down.
And we'll see where he goes from here. I mean, obviously, I'm hoping that this Del Rio chapter is closed. I'd love to see him maybe go into matches with Neville. I thought that would be some good back and forth matches.
And as we noticed later in the night with the League of Nations, that they want to do something with those guys, but they don't know what to do yet. And Alberto Del Rio will be a part of whatever that future is. The show finally starts.
Woohoo!
Woo! And we start with Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks versus Team Bad, which is now only Naomi and Tamina, not Sasha Banks, who went and, I guess, just became a good person, stick up for her friend Becky Lynch. By the way, the Kalisto Alberto Del Rio match went 15 minutes, 12 seconds, and then this match went 9 minutes, 50 seconds. It was a great match. I'm happy there are 2 Divas matches on the card.
Very much so, but I thought that this was kind of the first one out, and this was where I was getting to have the inclination that they were saving time for something. I thought these ladies could have had a few more minutes to tell a really good story. That being said, it was a great match. I just love how aggressive like Sasha and Naomi are, and so you get them in the ring together, and it's just good. And Tamina looked great, and it was a great kickoff to the actual show.
It says a lot. That says a lot, just how much they're putting in trust in the Divas, because the second most important match in a show is the opening match. You know, got the main event, and then you got to set the tone for the whole show. And I'm really happy that. I mean, I guess maybe some people consider the Kalisto Del Rio match, but either way, like you said, some people watch it at 5, and you know that'll be the first in the match, and I thought it was pretty good.
I don't know. It felt hurried to me. Specifically, Naomi and Tamina. All of what they did seemed to be in a rush. If they just took their time a little bit more, I think it would have been a little bit more effective. That's just my 2 cents on it.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that. But I also, what are they moving forward? I'm not sure what they're telling us about the Divas division and about these characters. So is Team Bad going to disband now just because they got beat once, and then all the Divas are going to be singular?
Well, yeah, there seemed to be a lot more storyline that could have been told if Sasha and Becky had lost.
Yeah, or if Sasha had turned to help Becky, but Sasha's still Sasha. And she's indifferent to Becky, but she thinks what's happening to her is wrong.
The overall theme of this pay-per-view goes to just that, sort of the lack of establishment of any forward-moving storylines. Every match was sort of to itself. It never led to anything greater than itself. Now, I like the story of both Lynch and Banks working together somewhat reluctantly, but still being able to eke out a victory over Team, now I guess, Too Bad. But that sort of doesn't lend to anything else that's going to happen in the future. So now we're sort of left going, well, that was a nice one. What now? What next?
Which, on the Fastlane to WrestleMania, historically is not very good for the Divas division or the women's division. There are very few like singles title women's matches in WrestleMania history. Like it's usually a tag match with a celebrity, and it's a bit of the schmozzy thing.
Not that we don't love those too.
I love those matches too, but I think what the statement they've been trying to make with their women would be hindered if they had like a 20 diva battle royal or anything that isn't like 2 women facing for that belt.
I wouldn't mind the 20 diva if, in addition to that, there were a title match on the show itself.
And then
both of those can coexist. However, one without the other seems to be hard to fathom because you've got a roster of so many women. How do you not include them in a show as big as WrestleMania? I think you need the Battle Royal. You also need the singles match that establishes the importance of the championship as a whole.
Well said.
Let's do them both.
I think they're kind of building toward a Charlotte, Sasha, Becky triple threat.
That's what I've been hoping for. Maybe even with a ladder.
No.
Am I overthinking that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I wanna see it with a ladder. I'm clearly a masochist. Thank you.
I don't know. The knockouts are whipping out chairs and kendo sticks and all that stuff all the time. I love it. I wish we would see that from them.
How are their ratings? Sorry.
That is,
May have a point there, Hobo.
there's a fair point.
By the way, does your jacket say not poop?
What? No. Not poor in spirit.
I didn't see I really did. Seriously, from this angle, you can't see that thing on the P. I guess it's an R, but.
Why are you looking at my P, Hermoza?
What's the next match, Steve?
The next match is one of my favorites of the night. Was Kevin Owens defended the Intercontinental Championship against Dolph Ziggler in a match that those same internet people will tell you they've seen a whole lot of times.
That's what I was thinking.
But that didn't make this not good. Like, they came out there, they told a story, they elevated each other, they elevated the title, they both... I mean, moving forward is kind of the stagnation we're having. We're having that problem with these matches tonight. But this match as itself was pretty good. A lot of back and forth. A decent level of suspension of disbelief because Kevin Owens just got the Intercontinental Championship. He's been hot-shotting it back and forth. Also, he's the kind of person that doesn't need to win every week and needs a beatable champion, which I always enjoy.
But there still just wasn't enough lead up to this to make me really care about it. Yes, it was a great match, but going into it, I thought, well, maybe I should go eat some lunch during this match. Which really it would have been dinner, but
well, time.
I mean, I kind of agree with Christy. I mean, I wish that maybe they had a little bit more like story. I know they kept mentioning like, oh, Dolph Ziggler pinned Owens the last. It's like one of those things where they kind of had to remind everybody about that.
Now they sort of are trying to make wins and losses matter. I don't think they do unless they have a really special importance. What I think would have worked even better is neither men are able to beat each other. Neither of them. Ooh. So Kevin Owens wins the belt from somebody else, but these two, they just can't beat each other. So when they actually do meet, it's something special because they're trying to one-up each other. Now it's just another win or another loss to peg onto each other's, illustrious career. It just sort of is meaningless.
To go onto your rap sheet as you head into the other giant ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship or the Andre the Giant Battle, the Andre the Giant Battle.
I don't think they're going to have another Intercontinental ladder match.
I don't think so either, but I think we are going to get at least one big group WrestleMania match, an everybody get in here match, which is tonight we saw a lot of people come out kind of to up their stats to look good heading into whatever that match is going to be.
I just don't know if they have enough bodies for something like that.
Of course they do.
They have bodies. They don't have enough Cesaros and Cenas, and they don't have enough stars.
Right.
Well, that's for singles competition. All you need for the group matches are people who are willing to perform on the largest stage. It's WrestleMania, so if you instantly say you have a match at WrestleMania, people are going to whip out things that they've never whipped out before. It's a big deal. They're going to try to impress the company. They're going to try and impress the crowd. They're going to try and pad their bottom line. It's about money, after all.
And
I like the idea of looking at WrestleMania as a cool opportunity for the little guys who wouldn't have gotten as big of an opportunity there as they're going to get because Cena and Rollins and Orton and everyone else is not going to be there.
That's what excites me about this WrestleMania, but what also worries me.
Yeah.
With where it looks to be headed right now, where I'm like, but they have the talent and they have 40 days to build them, and they're just going to try something else. And maybe they'll change, maybe they won't. They have changed. 2 years ago, they made a change by now that it was clear, they're actually going to change their plan. Also, Ziggler, Kevin Owens went 15 minutes, 10 seconds, which they gave him a decent amount of time.
I liked this match overall. It was a good match. The more it went on, the more you didn't know how it was going to go. Although I would have liked to see it end when both of them were outside after trading super kicks. That would have been my dream scenario. Neither man wins. Owens hangs on to the title, but neither man actually gets a victory, a clean one. That would have built to something. A non-victory is a victory for the fans.
I agree. But what we got was Kevin Owens going over with a pop-up powerbomb. I want to say this is one of the few times I've seen him set up the pop-up powerbomb with the pullback. The
ripcord.
Yeah, the ripcord.
Yeah.
Well, he could have grabbed one of those braids that Ziggler was rocking, which were hideous, by the way.
Wow. He always manages to surprise on the fashion front. I wonder who his muse is there.
I think he wants to be the Xavier Woods, and it's never going to happen. So that was his little way of I can do it too. I can have a cool hairstyle that people are going to talk about.
I think I'm so outside the bubble on fashion that when I see people like Dolph Ziggler or Xavier Woods, I'm like, is that a thing now? Or
Steve will show up tomorrow with some dreads.
Or Tyler Breeze, where I'm like, I think that's what we're wearing now, right?
Yes, a lot of chinchilla.
So much chinchilla. I need a job just so I can be fashionable. Up next is the match all of us had the same prediction on, which is the Big Show, Kane, and Ryback versus the Wyatts, minus Bray Wyatt, who's just sitting. So the Wyatts cut promos for weeks, talking about and cut promos and take down the titans of the WWE, the big bad people on the yard, all clearly building up towards a titan. So this felt like, and all the hosts agreed that predicted that, like, oh, these 3 Titans are just stepping blocks to a bigger Titan that would either be Brock Lesnar or Undertaker, or, since we have 40 days and a show in March, both. And that did not happen. We got a good 6-man tag match for what it is. A lot of dudes working. But
it is the most disappointing thing in the world to see time and time again the Wyatts unable to pull out any sort of meaningful victory on a pay-per-view setting. Mm-hmm. It completely disheartens me, and I think takes any and all credibility away from these 4 individuals.
Which...
That's why I thought maybe they were going to win tonight, because they have been.
Yeah. Well, because they need...
I thought maybe it's finally their night.
Now we're turning them into good guys because you want them to win. Yeah. You're working against yourselves, for crying out loud. They're supposed to be maniac menaces. Yeah. And instead you're sitting in your seat going, boy, I hope they get it tonight.
It's like... And if you were to listen to Bray Wyatt, they would sound like agents of chaos, and wins and losses don't matter, and they just want to watch the world burn. But then they get themselves into matches that they need to win to look credible. And that kind of just defeats its whole purpose.
So what do we think was the purpose of this match? That's what I'm thinking. Like, what are they telling us? What are we trying to do here? I did like the idea.
Fill some time in the paper.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like.
Get those 7 guys paychecks.
I wouldn't be surprised if they have like a rematch tomorrow and then the Wyatts are going over.
But it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
oh my God.
You know what? I did think that Big Show and Ryback and Kane kind of looked like a real tag trio.
Yeah.
Like, you put them together and put them all next to each other, and they worked well together. And then by the time it became sort of like the Ryback show, towards the end of the match, I thought maybe it was meant to be a push for Ryback, which I would love it if they would do that, but I don't think they would. That's certainly kind of what it looked like. What do you guys think?
Well, I think you really like Ryback.
Well, come on! I mean, the end of the match was all him.
But this felt like an audible, to be quite honest. This felt like them changing the finish.
It was sloppily executed, which sort of adds to that idea, but I don't know.
To go somewhere else is... Because it's the
only somewhere else for them to go is if the Wyatt family were to go to Titan Towers and hold it hostage until WrestleMania.
Which is a thing an Agent of Chaos would do.
Absolutely. Titans. They're after Titans, not these Titans, the big Titans. So while your attention's diverted to these guys, this one match, they're taking over the tower.
I will say this though, I think Eric Rowan has been impressing me a little bit more and more every single time. I don't know, he's just kind of coming out and he just... I feel like his little singles run that he did like about a year ago, like as a babyface, it just kind of went nowhere. But I mean, I think this guy's impressing me more and more. I know everybody loves Luke Harper because he's an indie guy. But I do love him too. I do love him.
He's a performer.
Brody Lee was the indie guy.
But yeah, I mean, I think Eric Rowan is impressing me more and more every single time too.
Yeah, I like what everyone's doing in the ring. it's just interesting. It's interesting that they have match after match like this, because I remember when they were standing toe to toe, not too long ago, they were standing toe to toe and looked credible against Brock Lesnar, but 2 weeks before that they were running away from Ryback. Like, it's just inconsistent within these characters, and they're just claiming, oh, they're Agents of Chaos and they don't care, and that's why, that's a Band-Aid. Like, an Agent of Chaos would do outlandish things you would never expect every week, which would be which makes them a terrible character trait, but they just seem to write it off.
I mean, it's not like, hi, I'm Bray Wyatt and you're watching Jackass. It's like, they're trying to figure out the right thing to do. One thing's not working, so they move on to the next person. Like, oh, we can't beat these 3 folks. Who we got next? We're going to see what happens with them tomorrow.
So they're going after the social outcasts. Social outcasts, beware!
Dude, 4-on-4. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that could work. They can finally get that big pay-per-view win.
League of Nations got 4 people too.
Dude, a 4-on-4 fatal 4-way match, a 16-man match, 4 people in every corner. It's going to be insanity in Texas.
That's math I can't even do.
Can we would need 2 rings.
Yes.
We need 2 rings and a cage.
For all these WCW marks that finally want War Games to come back.
They would just have to call it something else.
Games of War.
Games of War. They can't call it World War III.
AfterBuzz TV exclusive.
They're gonna call it the Games of War.
Exclusive Games of War 2016. It'll happen the same night as Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
Money in the Bank will also have 15 people.
Why not? You got the 2 rings, might as well use them.
I mean,
2 cases, 1 above each ring.
R-Truth would be so confused.
one of them has a pink slip. Oh wait, that's a terrible idea.
Uh-oh. Feast or fire. No, wait, damn it, I've already got that.
Man. Are we done? Are we done beating up on the Wyatt booking?
I think we're finished.
All right.
I think we've
It's
moved
no
on.
longer moving.
Finish beating up, it's already dead.
All right, we're moving on to Charlotte versus Brie Bella. By the way, the Big Show Kane Ryback match with 6 people got 10 minutes 37 seconds, which that's about the average for all these matches. Which is good to get 7 people involved in a match, but still get them out of there by 11 minutes. I'm gonna go. So Charlotte, Brie Bella. They use Daniel Bryan in Brie Bella's opening package because that's what we were all like.
Because that's why she got this match.
Like that's what we were all saying, like meanly. They're like, oh, she only got that match because they're trying to get some of the mojo from Daniel Bryan that they lost. They had to give a whole main event away to Daniel Bryan on
It's
Raw.
not that she's undeserving, but that is
Yeah.
why she got it.
They made that clear by making that the story. Whereas the story could be, no, I earned this. Stop talking about Daniel Bryan. They didn't go there.
It almost felt in memoriam. He's not dead. Retired.
He's in
not.
Seattle.
He's enjoying his time off. I assume he's fishing.
But we know he's not wearing his kick pads.
That's
She
true.
got
I
them
know,
on.
right?
I mean,
And
let's be honest
booty
here.
shorts. Brie in booty shorts. It has been a while.
It
You
has.
guys didn't notice that? Come on.
We did not. I noticed.
She was wearing straight Nikki Bella style shorts.
I noticed the Brie Mode song because I probably hadn't heard that since the SummerSlam that she faced Stephanie McMahon. That I was like, oh wait, she has her own music.
She didn't use that at SummerSlam when she faced Stephanie McMahon.
Yeah, she did.
No, she didn't, because she's still Bella.
No, but that was when Brie Mode started.
Okay.
I think-
But she didn't use it then. Because she didn't get her own theme song until they broke up.
I'm glad we're talking about the match.
Yeah, you know what? I just had
Actually,
that thought.
really quickly-
You and I on the same page. NXT team represent.
Hi, what's up? Christy, actually, really quickly, it's funny that you say she had the kick pads for Daniel Bryan and the booty shorts for Nikki. She was barely in the match for herself, and I'm really sad that Brie Bella has turned into Daniel Bryan's wife instead
Yep.
of Brie Bella, which is what
Widow.
brought her to the dance in the first place. Widow, that's right.
Amen, Mark. That's true.
And that's
That's why she couldn't win. She wasn't her.
which is funny. We're okay with Ric Flair being a valet. That was
Well,
awesome.
a lot of people complain about
I
that.
would have loved to see Daniel Bryan out there
That's-
at ringside opposite Ric Flair. That would have been fantastic. Why not?
Maybe
But
that's your WrestleMania match.
But
Because I was so sure that Brie was going to take this tonight and then grab the mic and quit and leave the title vacated. But maybe that's what's going to happen at WrestleMania. And we'll get Daniel Bryan out there and we'll get Ric Flair out there.
by the way, I did hear you on the SmackDown panel talking about that, and everyone else shot you down and said you don't retire with a title, and I was like, Divas do. Trish Stratus did, Lita did, AJ
Edge
did.
did.
It's just-
Well, Edge was hurt.
Edge
Or-
retired with the title.
He did, but he didn't plan it.
And Lita didn't retire with the title. But besides correcting you again, I mean, I thought that you kind of had to put the Daniel Bryan stuff in it. Like, how could you just ignore it? Like, it's one of those things where I think we're just looking too much into, they use the sympathy card. I mean, it was like, I think you just kind of have to. How do you? I'm
No,
saying,
but we're
how
saying
do-
then they
how
should
do
have
you
gone full
ignore
bore
it?
with it.
How
That
do you
should have
ignore
really
it?
been
That's
But
my
what I'm
point.
saying is there wasn't a concerted effort to make Brie Bella look like a contender in the title picture they've been presenting to us.
Well, she already
leading
beat-
into this.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree because I mean, she did have a pinfall victory over Charlotte that it looks like I don't think they mentioned.
Not at all.
But yeah, I mean, I think they should at least brought it up. But yeah, I mean, she is deserving. But
Yeah.
I do agree. Like I said, I just don't think that they can just ignore it. They had to mention it,
I guess, and I'm
especially if she's going to be a babyface now. That's
I
another
guess.
thing where
And
it's like,
I'll-
wait, so is she
She's
babyface
always
now?
been a baby face.
yeah, and I'll grasp the armchair to book from one last time. I think the more compelling story would be for her to actively campaign against. No, I'm not. Like in this moment, I'm Brie Bella, the #1 contender for the Divas Championship, something I've wanted my whole life.
She'll never do it.
and I happen to be Daniel Bryan's husband.
She would never
Wife.
go that route.
Husband
She is all about wham, 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 a man.
Well,
Arguably, she's always been a second banana to her sister, to her husband. If going forward, this was the story we were to tell. She's shedding all of that. She's finding herself. She's asserting herself as an independent individual. That would mean more. I say that's the direction we need to head in.
also, we're not talking about Charlotte Flair at all. Because what's her... She's just a female Ric Flair, kind of.
She was the only person to bleed tonight.
That was true.
Right?
Exactly.
Hardcore.
I say that the consistent individuals often get overlooked. The fact that we're not talking about her isn't a surprise.
Yeah.
Because she's consistent. She consistently turns out good performances, and that's not at all something for us to talk about.
Yeah.
Charlotte Flair was good tonight, and we're done.
I thought Brie Bella was good tonight too.
Yeah, I thought they put on a...
Don't think so. I'm just saying there's something was missing.
Well, yeah, I agree.
Something
The only
missing.
thing I kind of icked me at the end was when she had the half Boston Crab, and it was like she was more focusing on Ric Flair as opposed to like, dude, I'm like maybe an oomph away from winning the Divas title.
Yeah.
As opposed to she's just kind of looking at Flair, just kind of like, wait, what
And
are
then
we
at
doing
some
now?
point, she had to stammer to sell that leg. That ultimately explained the leg that she got drop kicked on earlier. That ultimately explained the whole story. But she did that while looking at Ric Flair, and it came off a little. That finish came off a little wonky. And then the announcers covered it up pretty nicely afterwards. But
You could have done this in a whole lot of different ways, and I don't think it was very effective.
no.
I think it made everybody look kind of foolish.
Well, except for Charlotte. Charlotte looked like Charlotte did yesterday. just
Strong as ever.
With a little blood on her nose.
A warrior.
her, Paige, Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, 4-way ladder match. No? All right.
Paige. Oh yeah, she's
Paige
still
is,
there.
yeah, Paige is back.
She's back.
Well, she lost to
Going back
Summer Rae,
tonight.
so by that
She
theory,
lo-
Summer Rae should be in that match.
Yeah, Summer
dude.
Rae. Yeah, her and Summer Rae fought Monday night, and so Paige is back. So we should probably want to do something with Paige, maybe. Probably not. Who knows?
Save it for Monday.
Yeah.
Save it for the Monday after WrestleMania. All
So
the Brits will lose their shit.
so it feels like they did short a couple minutes to give this match, which was arguably the match of the night, 16 minutes 20 seconds. AJ Styles versus Chris Jericho. I'm saying it's the match of the night. Not
It's tough to say. I like the main event.
that's
I like that main event.
that's good. I did like the main event, and we'll talk about the finish. And we'll talk about the finish that I didn't like.
Regarding this match, this is kind of the match that maybe essentially Kevin Owens and Dolph Ziggler, not the match should have had, but the build-up.
Yeah.
Where in terms of like, it's not about the belt. It just matters who's better, who's the better wrestler. You know, as opposed to the, what we mentioned earlier, Ziggler and Owens just kind of got thrown together. Like, this is the match. It's like, well, when you knew Jericho won that second match, you knew this was going to happen. So it's just a matter of like a month-long build. Just let them go out there and just do their thing.
Yeah.
I will say this is the one match that I actually sat back. I didn't take notes. I simply took it in because I knew it was going to be something to behold. The back and forth pace would have been too hard to try and divert my attention between two things. I actually just took this in for what it was, and I knew it was going to be two individuals simply putting it all on the line. And it did turn out to be that, though I don't necessarily say it's the match of the night.
That's fair. What did you have for it?
Well, what stuck out to me, what I have in my little notes, is that the styles clash kind of worked for me for the first time tonight. Now, I know a lot of people were saying that they like buried it or whatever, but for me, every time he's done it up until now, there's too much setup. There's too much time. You see whoever else it is grabbing his legs, and it's too much. It was like they finally got it down where, okay, we know what this move is now, AJ. Go ahead and execute it on me. I can make it look good.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, that's what it's supposed to look like. I buy it. We're good.
Although it looks like that's not what they want to do with the Styles Clash.
Well-
And I think that's what people are really upset about tonight.
I'm going to offend a bunch of people. I think that people are just whiny and bitchy. Like I said, and I tweeted it, dude, Styles Clash, when it says finishing move, you got to realize who kicked out. This isn't Hornswoggle kicking out. This isn't, whoever kicking out. This is undisputed champion, six-time world champion, 9-time IC champion, Chris Jericho kicking out. you're completely insulting Chris Jericho by anybody who whines and complains about somebody kicking out of the Styles Clash. And it's not it. And I bet a lot of people that were tweeting or whatever when that happened completely missed what happened next.
Which
he
is
totally
won.
He totally set that up for the finish for his other finisher.
Absolutely. He still technically won with the Styles Clash, though it was by submission after he did the calf crusher.
Yeah, so
one led to the other.
Yeah.
It wasn't that he kicked out, it was that he had the fortitude to kick out. Chris Jericho's a tested warrior.
Exactly.
Tested.
Just because it's not WrestleMania, he can't kick out because it's not WrestleMania or whoever. And it just bugged me when I saw why is Styles Clash trending on Twitter? My biggest mistake was clicking on it. I'm like, are you kidding me?
To be fair, I'm one of those people who said, and I think all I said was, well, it only took them a month to try and devalue the Styles Clash. And by that I mean,
that's because you're a conspiracy theorist.
I'm not a conspiracy.
We established that already.
Well, no, but what I mean by that is I think they're trying in their way, thinking that that's a move that was established outside of here. So he needs to establish a move here, and then that's going to be his finish here. That said, that might not even be the case.
He's been using the calf slicer or calf killer before.
Yeah.
You have to think about the difference in size. This is the land of giants. So you can't use the Styles Clash on everybody. Can you use the Styles Clash on Big Show? No, I submit that you cannot.
But if it does do it, though.
Oh, man.
Good luck with that. There's physiological. Never mind. I'm done having this metaphorical argument. But the calf slice, that'll work on the Big Show. That'll work without any problem. He's even got bigger legs. It might make it easier. I think AJ Styles is a bigger threat having a submission finisher, being a smaller guy.
Yeah, and it makes him look stronger over Chris Jericho, but it makes him look equal.
Yes.
It makes him look equal, which is where they're going. I made this prediction earlier. I think they're going to go best of 7. Oh, that's my conspiracy music.
I think they teased AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens. I think Kevin Owens teased that on Twitter.
Did Kevin Owens? Well,
he put up a tweet.
He was responding to people who were tweeting at him that AJ was his next target.
But it wasn't necessarily like, oh, this.
No.
Okay.
Well, no, because
if it does happen.
Well, because Styles Jericho at the end of this match had a bit of a face-off. You want to go again? Let's do that. It's just two people who consider themselves the best trying to figure it out. And they're just going to keep going. They're just going to keep having these matches.
I don't know. I don't know if they will, because the promo that Jericho did before this match sort of set it up. It's if Styles wins, Styles is now in a position of power within WWE. So I don't know necessarily if it'll continue, because that promo sort of like, well, this is all or nothing for me personally and for him. So I don't know if it'll continue. It's hard to say.
Yeah, either or. I'd be okay with them doing a best of 7 leading into that March Toronto show, and then them moving on to other people by Mania. But we'll know tomorrow. I wonder. I wonder what I saw now, because I thought I saw... I know what I believe, man! They're going to have a best of 12! God. It's an even number, I know!
It's going to be 6-6.
They're going to go 6-6.
That's right.
In their best of 12 series.
Then it'll end in a submission match. Actually, why not? You're welcome for that.
That's yours to have. I enjoyed this match very much. And this match was a bit of a prelude to the New Day coming out on Edge and Christian's...
The Cutting Edge Peep Show.
Yes, thank you. The Cutting Edge Peep Show.
It's almost Easter.
So one giant commercial to make you keep watching the thing that you already paid for.
I heard a rumor leading up to this that there would be a debut during this segment. It did not happen. I was much disappointed.
I also heard that rumor, that it was another... And
I said what I always say, it never happens until it happens, and it didn't happen, so I was right in the end.
And they kind of teased all of us. Because the New Day comes out, interrupts Edge and Christian. Edge and Christian tell them, you guys are just a carbon copy of Edge and Christian. Which is... I think the New Day is a pretty unique act.
I don't care.
You're
both are incredibly
you can
funny.
disagree with them. Yeah,
I'm not gonna take one away from the other, and them being associated with each other is not a bad thing.
Not at all. And they kept saying, Also, did anybody else feel a little upset when the New Day kind of buried the whole tag team division that they're allegedly on top of?
Well, they've beaten everyone.
Yeah, that's what champs do.
That's what heel champs
champions
do.
do.
Real quick. And I truly loved, and I got goosebumps, Tony Chimmel,
Oh, yes.
the rated R superstar, every single time. Goosebumps.
And then JBL going to... Who brought Tony Chimmel? Why is Tony Chimmel here? I found that
I think it's an Edge's contract. Anytime Edge comes out and gets introduced, Chimmel's there. That happened the last few times.
One of them isn't even signed to a Legends deal. Is it Edge or Christian?
Probably Christian.
It would have to be. It would have to be
the ring,
Edge.
so it's got to be Edge.
Yeah, because he's selling his tees on Pro Wrestling Tees.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Which, by the way, his tees are awesome.
Yeah.
Might get me a Sexton Hardcastle one.
Wait, does Austin not have it? Because this shirt, courtesy of Pro Wrestling Tees.
Oh yeah, because Austin has Pro Wrestling Tees
I'm
too.
wondering, he might just have a partnership that's above a Legends contract. Mm-hmm. But we're not going to discuss
That includes his podcast.
We're not going to
Anyway.
discuss too much business here.
But yeah, I think it's just New Day being New Day, just pretty much destroying all the people that they've beaten already.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought that was the cue for like another team to come out. but-
That's what I was...
What it was.
Yeah.
That's really... that team would have spelled a word incorrectly.
I even saw a sign. There was a sign at the entrance. I went, ooh.
Ooh, that's gonna... They're... I mean...
The chat roll is screaming loudly. They agree.
That's... But, like, they're in Ohio, and Ohio's not too far from Brooklyn.
No, I mean, it's pretty far.
Well, not if you're...
I mean, then again, you gotta also think, Rock hosted SNL and showed up in San Jose the next day, so nothing's too far.
That is true. Like, nothing's too far if you want to be there.
Nothing's too far if you have your own plane.
If you're The Rock.
He probably ran, if anything.
Don't sleep. I'm pretty sure that man doesn't sleep.
No.
Well, he does have a new baby at home.
So he really
like-
doesn't sleep.
Really?
He seems like the kind of progressive guy who would split the duties.
Did you mean that? How you
She meant that both
Literally
ways.
and figuratively.
She meant that both ways. I see what
Just
she did there.
saying.
Jokes.
What did we think of this segment? It felt all over the place.
Where's the money? Where did it end? It ended with the League of Nations standing in the ring, sort of not doing much except standing around. They hijacked it and didn't do anything with it. If you hijack something, you gotta do something.
Take it somewhere.
Right.
So, I guess we're getting League of Nations versus New Day at a future date.
I don't even know.
But then-
New Day, we love to hate the New Day. If we actually love the New Day, it won't be as fun.
Not at all.
No.
And then we're not going to start liking the League of Nations. Like, they're
Oh
literally
God, no.
they're literally built for us to hate. So,
They're all the foreigners.
By the way, the League of Nations theme song is starting to grow on me.
me too.
I don't know what it is.
But this whole thing, I watched the Edge and Christian show. I thought
the
that
League of Nations theme song is starting to grow on
I
me.
ain't got that crap. I'm New Day all day, every day.
All right. I think we've talked enough about the Edge and Christian commercial hour.
Yeah.
And
By the
speaking,
way, I saw a clip of it. It looks funny.
I
They
saw a bit of it.
showed a little bit of clip of it, and Vince was talking to Christian. It's like, oh, who the hell are you? Like, don't you read the internet? I don't like you.
That was funny.
That was funny.
That,
Impeccable impression, by the way.
Really?
Spot
George is
on.
a
Really?
decent Vince
No.
McMahon. Wow. Speaking of things that didn't make a whole lot of sense,
$8.
the Social Outcasts come out.
Yeah.
Are we supposed to like the Social Outcasts? I think we,
I like the
Were they
Social
supposed
Outcasts.
to come out?
Well, they weren't scheduled. This match was unscheduled.
Did they just decide that this is their day?
We got a
They were gonna
bonus match,
amble out
guys.
there and make something happen.
I tweeted in all caps, like, guys, bonus match! And then somebody tweeted back at me after the match was done. I think it depends on how you use the word bonus or match. Or it's just, this match went 2 minutes, 23 seconds. It's Curtis Axel versus R-Truth with the Social Outcasts in Curtis Axel's corner. This is your co-main event, ladies and gentlemen.
That's a way to look at it.
Yeah, I don't. Oh, man. So, Goldust comes out to help our truth
Yep.
because it's 4-1. That's totally understandable. But then our truth garners a loss with Goldust at ringside, trying to help, not at all cementing the fact that our truth actually needs Goldust.
Exactly.
All right.
Then you'd think like all the other stuff leading up to this, there'd be a way to play into, oh, Goldust is just gonna screw everything up again. But it's like, oh no, the chips are down. There's a match, and Goldust performs because he's a veteran of the ring. Like, I'd be okay with that. They didn't do that. They just...
So why should R-Truth continue to let Goldust do whatever it is that Goldust does? Why should he? Why should we at all? Why should we tolerate this? This was a bathroom break. Even the Edge and Christian thing, just come on, get it together.
It reeked of bathroom breakedness.
I mean, but Edge and Christian. Oh, you want to stick around for them? They're funny.
Yeah.
You watch them.
The one thing I did like about the match was the lap that the social outcasts always do. I think that's awesome.
It was, yes.
Yeah,
And each of them doing their own hand thing. I like that. It's funny.
I like the social outcasts getting wins.
But over other guys who are in desperate need of wins.
Fair enough.
You're just pitting the desperate versus the starving. It's just sad.
Oh, that never works. But I think we've talked just enough about that match. Curtis Axel, not doing it. Or Curtis Axel is over.
You got the win.
Yeah, Curtis Axel got the win. The social outcasts win.
I like
said that for a while.
everybody. I like everybody involved in that match, but not the match itself, which I think speaks volumes about them as performers, professionals, as individuals.
And if you were going to give us a bonus unannounced match with a bunch of people in it, we could have had a debut.
Well, I mean, I think it's like...
Just saying.
I think we have time for a 3-minute match.
Yep.
So it's like, well, who are you going to put? Guys, that everybody likes, or, let's put in...
Or we could have the Dudleys. The Dudleys have been...
Dudleys in a 3-minute? I don't think they'd stand for that.
Yeah, but we could have had the Dudleys in a spot tonight because they've clearly been burning the candle at the right way where everyone's on board with, no, we don't like them because they don't like us.
I did expect them to make a little surprise
Something with them.
tonight. Mm-hmm.
Or like even a 5-minute Dudley's Usos blow off.
They only time for 3 minutes.
Fair enough. Well, then they should have took 2 minutes from Edge, Christian,
There
and
were
the New
only
Day.
2 championship matches on the main show tonight.
3.
3?
Reigns.
Intercontinental Championship.
No. That was...
No, you're right.
No, the
You're
U.S.
right. No, you're
title was
totally
on the
right.
pre-show.
Right, U.S. title was on pre-show.
The Divas title, the Intercontinental title.
Right.
Yep, you're right.
That was 3.
But that speaks to the weight.
Actually, no, even 2. I was right anyway.
Yeah, you were right.
I'm confusing myself.
Damn it.
Stop disagreeing with me.
No, sorry, but Reigns, Ambrose, Lesnar, for all we could say bad about this match, what we could say great about this match is heading into it, it had the weight of a world title match. It reminded...
Because it was going to WrestleMania.
Yes.
The opportunity to be at the big show is as big as the championship in itself. Or that's what they want you to believe.
So much so that in our minds, we were like, no, it's for the title, right? Like, in our subconscious minds, it was like, no, it's actually just to face Triple H for the title at a later date.
That's how it should be. Every single time.
Agreed.
I did get a little annoyed at Roman Reigns' interview when they were like, "Oh, well, what's going to be the relationship between you and Ambrose?" I'm like, they fought at Survivor Series for the actual title, right? But I guess then it kind of switched where like, well, it probably means a lot more to actually be in the main event of WrestleMania for the title.
And against Triple H, somebody who's been prodding at I got that, but what I would have enjoyed is, why did you ask me that question? You know what this title means to us. We're brothers, and we've fought over it before.
That's right. And then he backhands him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes!
Like Superfly.
But if Roman Reigns had that kind of conviction in his voice all the time, I don't think there'd be people screaming very loudly right now that he shouldn't be where he is. And that's not on him, that's on the people telling him what to say. Because in the ring, he's there.
I agree with that statement.
I
think he's a top performer.
Yeah, I agree that.
He's
definitely shown he's got the in-ring capability.
And he's proved it in the last 12 months of his life when it comes to fan backlash. He's done what John Cena has done for years, which is, oh, you don't think I'm good enough? I'll show you. I won't tell you. I won't bring it up. I won't pimp a negative comment. I'll just show you. I'm going to go in there and be the best thing you've seen all night. Every night. That's what John Cena does. Just that, a lot of those Cena haters are doing it now just to be trendy. Because there's a lot less to hate. Because Cena has, a decade-long resume of just, no, you're just being trendy to try to boo me. that's what Reigns is dealing with here. Ambrose, I was happy he was in this match. I really wanted Ambrose to win this match.
And it looked for a second there like you might pull it out at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going back and forth between Ambrose and Reigns just because, like, typically, if you lose your mid-card title around this time,
yes,
it usually means you're going to get maybe that world title shot. So I was like, oh, Ambrose Reigns.
That's honestly why.
Then I'm like, well, they got to have Reigns and Triple H at some point. Oh, well, what if they have a triple threat match? No, but they can't do a triple threat match 3 times in a row at Mania. So I was like, you know what? It's going to be Roman Reigns.
Let's start at the top of this match with Lesnar like a bat out of hell, taking down both dudes. I think it was 5 or 6 German suplexes. We got the Dean Ambrose trying to German suplex Brock Lesnar, which I thought was wonderful, and I need a gif of immediately.
Get on that.
I'm sure it's out there.
Yep.
And
I like the fact that Brock was counting the moves for us.
yes.
Yeah.
Which, it's almost as if he knows that German suplexes was almost our tiebreaker for the championship.
Right? It's like, okay,
these guys.
all right, AfterBuzz TV, here's 1. And now 2. Steve Kaufmann, are you paying attention?
Not necessary. It's just too easy at some point.
We get it.
It's getting so cocky, this one.
We get it. You pick matches. We're happy.
We get
for
it. You have
super-
nothing
sorry, super crazy.
else to do but watch wrestling all the time and read about wrestling.
Not that that's a
talk
bad
about
thing.
wrestling.
But eventually,
I do watch wrestling all the time.
he does. But eventually they team up. Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns team up and put Brock Lesnar through a table.
Tables.
The teaming up wasn't a surprise. They
Yeah.
sort of teamed up from the get-go. Brock Lesnar went right after Ambrose, and who came in but Roman Reigns for the save to try and break it up a little bit. These two worked together so consistently throughout the opening parts of this match that it was only a surprise when one turned on the other, and even though it was Ambrose who started it, that's not much of a surprise. It led into spots of competitivity that you really weren't sure you were going to see with this style of match.
Yeah, I also enjoyed in the thing I said tonight was this reminded me a lot of playing online mode of WWE 2K16, where 2 people just team up, like 2 people team up on you on the outside, put you through a table, make sure you lay there, and then they'll fight for the match. And then you'll get up, and then they'll team up on you again, and then put you through another table, and then literally bury you in table debris. So you can just... I don't think that's worthy of the conspiracy stuff. That online matches are like that. People team up against you because they want the gamer points or whatever.
I mean, that's what this type of match is about. You had to eliminate one of the variables. If there were 3 variables, it's easier to wrestle 1 man than it is to wrestle 2 men simultaneously. So if you team up to eliminate one of the variables, then you're left with 1 guy standing in front of another guy, and that's easy. You can figure those odds, except when the other man escapes from the pile of garbage from which he's been buried, and German suplexes a guy on top of another guy!
That was pretty cool.
I think, yeah. Because he had Dean Ambrose up for a Samoan drop, and then he picked Roman Reigns up for a German suplex, which I like to call a Germoan suplex.
Ooh,
Can I
don't think that's gonna be a thing.
Can we workshop that? Can we...
Put it on a shirt. Why not? Germoan suplex.
If I sold 3 of those shirts, I'd be so happy. This match was great, and then we got to the chair spot with Dean Ambrose, where he just beat both people down with a chair. Roman Reigns, spear on Dean Ambrose. 1, 2, 3. Roman Reigns is going to WrestleMania. Again, in a main event that some very vocal portions of the audience don't want him at.
People can identify with Dean Ambrose because he's an opportunist, and in this match in particular, was the smallest guy there. So he had the least likely chance of winning this match. So he did everything in his power to try and win this match. He went for a low blow, he smashed both guys with a chair, he did everything he possibly could. And all that does is solidify his connection with the audience who feel the way he does. Everyone has felt like an underdog in their own life, and here's the underdog, the living, breathing personification of an underdog in this match. The man who should be champion, arguably, but is not now, nor will be in the foreseeable future. And I think he is absolutely the perfect choice to be champion, but he will not be champion. I do not know why.
he's like Austin before Vince figured out what he had.
Right.
Where it's just like, why aren't you pushing the... What? He's right there! And like Cesaro to a certain extent. Where it's like, Cesaro was ready and then Cesaro got hurt. Right before Cesaro got hurt, we saw that in Cesaro. And what do we think moving forward with Lesnar? Where do you think Lesnar goes?
Bray Wyatt.
Bray Wyatt at Mania or Bray Wyatt between now and Mania?
Brock Lesnar is already facing Luke Harper at Toronto show.
Is he? Oh, is the Toronto show booked? Okay. All right, then I guess we know where Brock Lesnar's going.
That seems kind of shoehorned. I don't know if I buy it.
Well, I don't think his stuff with Ambrose is done yet. If anything, we'll see a blow-off match tomorrow. If not, they could go that way moving forward.
It could start with the blow-off and end with Bray Wyatt.
There you go.
If they want to do that.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think you're wrong. You need to have some sort of finish because Ambrose is more than game to fight Brock Lesnar one-on-one.
They made such a big deal out of it, too.
Right.
I just stopped that momentum.
Yep.
I agree, but well, that's actually really harsh that we know where they're headed.
We don't.
We don't.
No, we
Fair
don't.
enough.
Which is the chief complaint about this pay-per-view. Nobody knows.
Never thought about Ambrose versus Lesnar.
That would be
because
great.
Lesnar hasn't been pinned since like WrestleMania 29. So if Ambrose is like the first guy that can pin Lesnar in 3 years,
that would
be that guy.
That would
He's
be
crazy enough.
Maybe they have a bigger plan for Ambrose. Maybe it's okay.
Perhaps it's okay. Maybe it's not an 8.
I don't have the energy
God bless you.
Thank you.
for hope.
Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not an 8-man ladder
Hobo's
match.
hopeless. Aw.
I don't know. They like writing their big titles. Everybody else can go suck eggs.
Yeah, we'll work on it for 20 minutes this morning, the morning of the thing, and like it's frustrating. It's frustrating to think about, but I think moving forward
okay
to
with it.
WrestleMania, which we'll all be at, right?
Woo woo!
Not to put everyone
I'll
on the
be in
spot.
Dallas. Whatever happens in Dallas, I'll be in Dallas.
Fair enough. I think we'll all walk away from WrestleMania feeling like we had a great time, and it's honestly like that. The brand that is WrestleMania is big enough to kind of float us through a lot of these parts.
I think they rely too heavily on that. They rely too
I do
heavily on
too.
nostalgia, and they think, oh, it'll be fine. All of this will get by, so we don't have to worry about it. Oh, we don't have to write it. If you actually invest time in something, you actually hold up its value over time, so that you're not simply resting on nostalgia alone.
Well, I think they're going to be reconsidering that after tonight and the fan reaction to this entire show. I think they're going to know that
Although-
needs a little step up.
What happened last year? It's going to be good. WrestleMania is going to be good because if we're in the loop again, WrestleMania will be good.
I feel like this is like something they have to do as far as Roman's being in that spot because I think I know what's going to happen. AFTERBUZZ predictions. No, okay.
No, we're fine.
So
That
it's
was
gonna be
really quick.
I feel like I know what's going to happen at WrestleMania because they feel like this is something they have to do.
Bring it.
Okay. So obviously Rock's going to be a big part of WrestleMania. I feel that's going to be Roman versus Triple H, and Rock in Roman's corner, and Vince in Triple H's corner. Now I think before the match, Roman's going to say, "Rock, stay in the back. I don't need you out there. I want to do this by myself." And he turns a heel and joins with Vince, thus making Triple H a babyface. The last image of the thing is pretty much Roman Reigns spearing and beating the crap out of The Rock, standing with the belt high up. Because not that I think that Roman needs to be heel or, because he's getting booed, or that's nothing to do with it. I just feel that he's got a lot more challengers. Because now he's going to be able to maybe feud with Dean Ambrose, the guy that's never beat Roman Reigns. So that's something they can maybe always throw out. Well, they'll be feuding. Oh, by the way, bro, you've never beat me. Ever. That's something they can build on, for sell pay-per-views and whatnot. Because maybe at some point Dean Ambrose will beat Roman Reigns for the title. I see that happening. Because I feel like there's something they have to do, and I just don't see them really pushing Roman Reigns as like the top guy for the next 6 months or a year.
I think
don't accuse them of being lazy writers and then give them the idea.
Well, if it's
Now
good,
they don't
it's
have
good.
to do any work again.
No.
Now we can't do that because that AFTERBUZZ guy spoiled it for us.
I just can't imagine Vince McMahon and Triple H's corner. That's where you lose me. Those two Or at odds, have been at odds, will be at odds, and I cannot suspend my disbelief to believe that
Vince and Triple H's corner?
just there.
Yes.
They have a lot of airtime together on TV, don't
I
they?
also can't suspend my disbelief that The Rock will want to be in Roman Reigns' corner again after the Royal Rumble, where he felt like he was put in a place to lose.
Unless he does it to be a heel, but The Rock can't be a heel because he's The Rock.
Yeah.
So, might seen Roman turn heel.
All of these questions and more we can talk about on Twitter, where we're available 24/7. You can also we're not available 24/7, but we can.
You said it.
You can tweet at us 24/7.
I'm more like 21/6.
Something like
give me
that.
a day off.
We take one day off on Twitter. Christy, where can people find you on
Well, I
Twitter?
would love it if people would also check out my interviews with Gail Kim and Christy Hemme at ChristyReports.com. And please follow me on Twitter and Instagram at ChristyReports. Yeah, they got it. Sorry to make you guys read. I had audio issues. I know. But they're there.
Oh, yeah, I'm next. You can follow me on Twitter and on Instagram. G Hermoza. #road to 500 followers. Please, sometime soon.
Good luck to you. I'm almost up to 2K. You can follow me at TrueHobo on Twitter. ProWrestlingTees.com/hobo is where you can get shirts, but I don't recommend it. I recommend you go to NXTeam.Spreadshirt.com and do not forget to watch NXT on Wednesdays on AfterBuzz TV as we review it at 6 o'clock just after the show.
9 Eastern.
You guys can find me on Twitter as always at Steve Kaufmann. That is KAUFMANN. I do a lot of shows here at AfterBuzz TV. I tweet about them regularly. This shirt courtesy of ProWrestlingTees.com. Thank you and good night.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later, baby.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.